What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Fit to Fat to Fit Experience podcast. I'm your host, Drew Manning.
And I'm your co-host, Lynn Manning.
Thank you guys for coming back here for another great episode. Today is another treat for you guys. Last night, we all saw Cory and Raila transform. We saw Cory's Fit to Fat to Fit transformation. We saw how Raila was inspired and saw her amazing transformation. Today, we have those two on the podcast today, and we are diving into all the details of the behind-the-scenes stuff, their diet and exercise routine that they use, of course, because that's what you guys want to know about. And we talk about other things that you didn't see on camera as well.
Yeah, we talk about some of the takeaways, like what they really learned. I dig in with Raila to ask her, some tips for people on how she was able to change her nutrition since she seemed like such a foodie, which I could relate to. So we get into a lot of the good nitty gritty. But before we do that, we want to talk about our sponsor of the show, dollarworkoutclub.com. You guys, dollarworkoutclub.com is an online fitness platform where Drew, myself, and Natalie Hodson do online training for all levels, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. They're about approximately 10 to 20 minute workouts. You can stream them from your phone, from your iPad. You can put it on your TV. And it's 5 workouts every week, 5 healthy recipe videos, and 5 motivation videos. And it's all just $1 a week. There's no hidden fees. There's no contracts. You can literally just try it and see if it's a good fit for you.
Yep, guys, check it out at dollarworkoutclub.com. All right, you guys, let's jump into the episode with Cory and Raila. All right, you guys, we have Cory and Raila here on the Fit to Fat to Fit Experience podcast. Awesome episode last night, you guys.
So good.
You guys did great. You guys are so funny. We loved watching you two interact with each other, and such an amazing story. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Doing pretty good.
Crazy journey, right?
Crazy, amazing.
All of the above.
All of the above, yeah.
Yeah. So, Cory, let me ask you this. What was the deciding factor for you to do this journey where once you knew that, okay, this is a different weight loss show, you have to get fat on purpose, what was the deciding factor for you? Like, okay, I think I'm going to do this. What was that deciding factor for you to really do the show?
Drew, in all honesty, it was simply because it scared me. At that time, I hadn't been scared of anything in a while. I hadn't been intimidated by anything or anyone in a while, and I thought I had done it all and seen it all. So the fact that I had trepidation, the fact that I was a little nervous, and it just said, well, maybe this is what you need to do, Cory, because nothing else has made you feel this way. So, it was just a challenge. I looked at it as simply probably one of the greatest challenges I would ever have to do, and I felt almost guilty if I would have let it pass me up, because then I think it would have haunted me. It would have been something I would always look back on and say, you know what? I should have just went ahead and did that. I might have learned a thing or two.
Yeah, man. But I can relate to you, man. It is kind of scary to think about, like, okay, I'm really going to do this. Like, to think you're going to eat a cheat meal like pizza and fries, you're like, oh, man, that sounds cool.
Right.
But to put on 50 to 60 pounds over 4 months, most people know that are in the fitness industry, like, that would be hell. That would be really hard to do.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, at what point during your weight gain journey were you kind of like freaked out? Like, okay, what did I get myself into? At what point did that happen for you?
Man, it was definitely by the 6th week. Because, I went through the phase of gaining weight and people thinking I was doing it on purpose because I still have my frame. So people like, oh, man, you getting big out here. I see you bulking. You looking good, bro. But then it started to get where my stomach was hanging over and the fatigue was setting in and my knees and back just didn't feel the same and my energy was off. And then it was kind of like, wow, I still have like 50 weeks of this crap to go. Like, what did I get myself into? I had a lot of moments where I was like, Cory, what are you doing? And then before I would answer myself, I'd just get busy again because if I thought about it too long, I don't know what would happen.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I can relate to that. Now, Raila, when you open up to Cory in that scene and Cory told you that he was going to be gaining weight on purpose, was that real? Were you shocked, or did you kind of already know before that?
I had no idea before then. I was definitely shocked. Thought it's crazy a little bit. But yeah, it made a big statement to me that he's in for it. He really means what he's saying, and it made me feel good a little bit. Then it made me feel bad that he was putting his body through. That's a lot of weight to gain in a short amount of time. So I was in like mixed feelings a little bit.
I know, and so you didn't get to see him during the 4 months of the hell that he went through. You just kind of saw him afterwards, and he showed up and was like, "Here I am, 4 months later, different Cory, fat Cory."
Yeah, it was a shock. Like he didn't look anything like himself, nothing like himself.
Now, during those 4 months, did you kind of get started by yourself, or you just kind of hang around, wait for Cory to come to you? What went on during those 4 months? Because we don't get to see on the TV show.
The first 4 months, I think I lost like 12, 13 pounds, something like that. So I lost during that time. I think it was like 13 pounds I lost during that time, just trying to get ahead of the game a little bit.
Yeah,
and change eating habits. I think the eating was the hardest part for me. So I thought if I get a jump on it, then, it'll be easier by the time Cory comes in.
Speaking of that, one of the things that I loved about your episode is when you're actually in the beginning are showing all the dessert that you're eating. You're talking about food and the junk food and how addicting it is and how much you love it. And I'm like, okay, she gets it, because that for me, that's me too. Like the food is the hardest part. Like I could get my butt to work out, but the food for me was always like my biggest struggle. So for you, to come from that place and like start trying to eat healthier even before you guys started together, what helped you to do that? Like what helped you to eat healthier or avoid the sweets? Like any tips that you could give people listening?
I think it's all about mindset. I just wanted to change. I wanted something different. And for 5-6 years, I think I've been telling myself I'm going to change. I'm going to do something different. And I never did it. And this opportunity was so great. I didn't want to mess it up. So that pushed me really to give it my all. That I just didn't want to mess up again. This is my last time trying, and I didn't want to mess it up again.
Now in the episode, you have a lot of friends. It looks like Raila, and were they a good support system for you? Were they kind of tempting you to be like, come on, Raila, let's go out, let's have some drinks, let's go eat some real food? Like, were they a support system, or were they kind of tempting you during the your transformation?
They're definitely my support system. I didn't see any of them for like the whole 4 months. Like they knew I was off limits for the whole 4 months. They would call and check on me and make sure that I was doing okay and give me words of encouragement. But they're definitely my support system.
That's awesome. Because, in some people's cases, their closest friends or family sometimes can be a support system, but in other cases are the ones that try and sabotage their weight loss, where they get jealous and they don't want them to lose the weight because they feel like they're going to lose a friend or something, and they feel like they can't have fun, they can't go out and have a social life because you want to sit at home and eat chicken and broccoli, so that's great that you didn't have to experience that, but some people unfortunately do, especially women, right?
Yeah, well, a lot of times I think it's hard because sometimes depending on the group of friends or the situation, like people don't want to feel left out. You're going on this amazing journey. You're transforming, you're losing weight, you're feeling good. And if you have girlfriends that also struggle with their weight, I think sometimes that's when women, can get defensive or less left out or feel not as supportive. I'm glad that it looked like that your girlfriends, in that final scene when they see you, look so happy, so happy for you and your progress. And I love seeing that. That was so beautiful.
Yeah. Now, Cory, you mentioned to me before we started recording here that a lot of your friends tell you they miss the fat Cory. Can you talk to us about that? Like why that is, and a little bit about that?
I mean, they say that because the fat Cory was down for everything. I went everywhere, Drew. I went everywhere. I was more social this summer than I have been in the 5 years I've been in Atlanta. I went to the parties. I went to the lounges, the bars, the clubs, any concert. I saw concerts. I'm not even a concert guy, and I was always willing to eat. And so, just having, I guess, that person that you could always count on to go anywhere with you and do anything to the utmost. I mean, I'm sure it's a great feeling. They never had to think, so I've definitely back into my militant ways, and I'm balanced, but I'm still Cory. I'm still training. I'm still trying to stay in shape. So they know they can't ask me some of the things they used to ask me to do. But yeah, a few times this fall, even they'll jokingly be like, "Man, I miss Fat Cory. Man, Fat Cory would have came. Fat Cory would eat this." It's like,
I know, man. I can totally relate. I still have people 5 years later tell me, "Oh man, I really miss the fat Drew. Like you were so much more fun." Now, Raila, going back to you, now that the show's over, do you have friends that kind of do the same thing to you? Like, oh, let's go out, let's party, the show's over, we can go back to normal life? Or how has it been maintaining this lifestyle?
I've definitely had a couple of friends drop off because of the change, but yeah. But I kind of expected it a little bit because I wasn't the same person that I was before. But my eating habit, everything is pretty much has stayed the same. I have a workout buddy now, my best friend. So yeah, we work out 4 days a week together. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good now.
I love it. I know we're going to talk about like your current regimen and also what you guys did to lose the weight. But before I get there, because we're still kind of talking about like the progression for you, Cory, one of my favorite scenes is actually, you're talking to your assistant and you're really upset. She's talking about an event and you're really struggling. I can see, you talk about it, but I can even just see how genuinely upset you are, depressed you are, talking about, look, I'm not my old self, talking about the emotional and mental toll that it took on you gaining this weight. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that? Like what was surprising to you? What did you learn emotionally, mentally, like at your heaviest?
Yeah, sure. And first of all, Lizanne is here. She wants the record to show that she's actually my manager, not my assistant.
Oh, sorry.
What's up, Lizanne? We're sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
But no, honestly, I'm happy that I can look back on it and speak openly, because one of those challenges for me during that process was just transparency. I had a lot of pride, and so I didn't really want to show how hard it was for me. I didn't want to crack. And so in that scene particularly, I was overseas, and just being over there, still having to gain the weight and still having to do the day-to-day operations. It's kind of feeling like it was too much. So I do remember, I think we were going over just the week, and I was just not wanting to accept any more on my plate, any more things to think about, any more things to do, because I really had convinced myself I was at my end. Like I couldn't give any more energy to anything else. So her being the closest to me, I mean, of course she's going to get that side of me. It was just emotionally, it was challenging. I mean, it was so hard to have to follow the order of eating so much a day. And then the pressure of knowing that I had to weigh a certain amount per week, all the while knowing that it's going to only get worse. It was really me just trying to kind of having to accept the fact that it's going to get bad, and really and truthfully just letting the process happen. I think a big part of me was fighting as hard as I could. Let me at least, let me eat this, but I don't have to eat all of it. It's not going to make that big of a deal. I was making excuses. So at that time in the project, it was me just allowing the process to really take over. And I think Drew came to Atlanta and spoke with me shortly after that time, and gave me kind of some insight. And after that, it was uphill from there, or downhill from there. But in that time, it was just I was going through it.
Yeah, no, and I remember that's why they flew me out to Atlanta. This part didn't make the episode, but they flew me out to Atlanta to meet up with Cory. He was struggling, mentally and emotionally, physically too. Like it was really taxing on you as a whole. And so I flew out there. Kind of told you about my experience and what I learned, and how I was able to, not quit, because I told myself 6 months, I'm going to do this for 6 months. I could have stopped early if I wanted to. I didn't have a TV show following me around with a contract saying, you got to gain weight this week. Like I didn't have that kind of pressure. And I remember, we sat down, we talked, and we really, bonded, and I felt like it was a good experience. And just so everybody knows, we did eat Taco Bell together. Okay. I helped Cory out. I'm like, I'm going to eat a soft taco with you or something like that. It was good.
It was a couple chalupas and a couple.
There we go. See, you basics. Remember the basics from Taco Bell, and it tasted delicious. Anyways, yeah, that part didn't make the scene. But yeah, just kind of going back to what you're saying, Cory, about the mental and emotional part of it. It really is a big surprise. And I don't want people here's the thing, is like people watch the show, they see what you go through, and I can definitely relate to it, but I mean it's not the same as someone who's been overweight for years. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, right. It isn't. But at the end of the day, that's not what the show is about. We're not trying to say, look, I did this for 4 months, now I know exactly what my client is going through. I don't want people to pretend, or I don't want people to think that we even pretend to know exactly what it's like. Right. But at the end of the day, it's giving you as a trainer a unique experience to step outside of your comfort zone, see it slightly from a different perspective of kind of how hard it is, And man, it really does change you as a person.
And if I may, Drew, like
Uh-huh.
that was big for me, you coming down there, because honestly, I felt alone. I mean, I had no contact with any of the other trainers. Nobody around me could truly say they know what I'm going through. They may see it and they may even appreciate that this is something I'm doing and it's going to make me better. But I mean, mentally, psychologically, I felt that, no one really gets it. No one really can truly fathom how difficult this is for me, because to everyone else, you get to eat crappy food. But I'm going against my DNA. I'm going against the whole essence of who I am. And so, I mean, you coming down there gave me that kind of hope, like, you know what, Drew's right. He did it and he's fine and he seems to be better. So I know I can. And it was just that, just allowing the process to take me over and not convincing myself that it was like, gonna be forever. I just needed to continue forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never wanted to quit, but I do think my morale was just really down,
Yeah. And that's what you get stuck in the moment. Sometimes you're like, man, this is never going to end. You just need to have a long-term perspective sometimes, like, okay. And you get back, you have to trust in the process that you will get back to fit. Raila, going back to you, I've asked all the clients this question and I kind of want to hear your opinion about it. You've probably seen The Biggest Loser and Extreme Weight Loss, these other weight loss shows. Fit to Fat to Fit is so different. It's unique because the trainer, has to gain the weight for the 4 months. Do you feel like there was value in Cory gaining the weight to come out of it as a different trainer versus if he was just, you referred to him as workout Cory. If he was just workout Cory without gaining the weight, do you think this experience would have been different versus him gaining the weight, doing what he did? Was there value in him getting fat on purpose for you in a way?
I definitely think it was valuable for him to gain the weight. A lot of times when overweight clients say they're tired or their back hurt or their knees hurt or they just can't do it, they can't breathe, whatever the case may be, I think a lot of trainers who haven't experienced being overweight before thinks it's just a scapegoat or just an excuse, or you just don't want to work out. Like, it's just easy to get up and move, 300 pounds or more. It's not that easy. And if he didn't actually experience it, I don't think he would have understood half of what I was going through.
Cory, yeah. Did it change your perspective on how you train? Like when you did your first workout back to fit, did it kind of change your perspective? Like, okay, this is how it is. It's way harder than I thought. Did you experience that?
Hell yeah. I thought it was, I'm convincing myself I'm unstoppable. And so, from the first workout, I knew, I was like, Cory, this is going to be a battle. This is going to be, the battle of your life, man. You were looking for a fight. You found your fight, and I all the time would remind myself of not just Raila, but any client I had who was struggling with their weight and who was trying to lose weight. Anytime I didn't want to go to the gym, or I didn't want to maybe, do as hard of a set as I could, or meal prep, I would be like, this is what you make your clients believe in. This is the process that you tell them to trust. So you have to do it too. And it was a constant just confirmation. And it honestly makes me respect everyone that I've helped lose weight even much more. I mean, I was always proud of them, but I definitely can respect them way more because I finally had to do it on my own. And it's just not easy, and it's not fun. But once it's done, it's kind of like you're that much more better from it,
Yeah, I love that you were able. Yeah, I love that you have that perspective and that you were able to see that, and you can see that in the episode. For me, seeing that scene where you guys are at the park and you're working out, and Rayla's like, "I'm done. I quit. I'm done."
Yeah, I thought she was going to quit. I was like, "Oh no, she's going to quit the show."
Yeah, but it's cool to see you there. Instead of a standard trainer that again would have been like, "These are excuses," or you need to dig deep. Just like the traditional mantras. There you are being like, "I know it's hard. I'm tired too. This is hard." And having someone there that's empathetic, that's going through the same thing, kind of touching on that, I think that adds such a tremendous value. So getting into the weight loss though, because people are the most excited about that. How did you lose the weight? What did you guys do workout wise and nutrition wise? Can you guys touch on that and kind of walk us through the workout routines that you did, how often you worked out, how long you worked out, and the food, like what you guys really ate during the 4 months of losing?
So me and Cory worked out five 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
In the mornings, I worked out with Cory, and then after work, I work out by myself at the gym. So I work out twice a day, 5 days a week, sometimes on Saturdays as well. But yeah, on Skype. Yeah, we worked on Skype during the days as well. The times I couldn't make it to the gym, we worked on Skype during the weekdays. And just really, yeah, no, he was dedicated. I love him for it. But I think the biggest thing was just me changing my eating habits, to actually eating food and not junk. I think that was the hardest, but the best thing for me was just actually eating the right foods.
And you were diversifying. You went from just working out to you were running a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm actually a runner. No, okay,
say it.
Runner.
You could say it. She's a runner. I actually enjoy working out at this point. Like if I don't go at least 3 or 4 days a week, I feel guilty. I feel bad. So I like working out now.
Yeah, Rayla's goal. Well, my goal for Raila was constant activity, and really just diversity in everything. I wanted her to, to walk every day, do push-ups when she's bored. I wanted her to join classes. I really wanted her to just get lost in the essence of fitness, because that's honestly what it's going to take, is an active, healthy, fit lifestyle. So that was my goal for her. For me personally, I created just my own concentration camp, and just did not come out of that until it was time to do my final weigh-in. I was doing things that I wouldn't expect normal people to do, maybe if they didn't have a life or a job or bills. I was putting so much time into my studio. I was waking up and doing jumping rope, then I would put a weight vest on and run. Then I might have a client come in after that. I'm like, oh hell, why not? Let's work out together just to selfishly get more calories off my body. I was going to the pool. I was swimming. I was doing stuff in the sand. I was the most active fat guy in Atlanta last summer. I had to be. I was doing things I don't even do. I was riding bikes, and the meals were very bland and boring. 1,600 calories, nothing more, and just obsession. Doing things like watching TV in a plank position, and it was honestly a bit of a freedom for me, because I guess when you're in shape and you're sculpting your body, you have this idea of what you want to be. And so you go to the gym with this idea and you can already see things. But when you're just a blank canvas, it's almost kind of like, well, shoot, I can come out of this better. So I was doing things that I hadn't thought of, like wheatgrass shots, and, hot yoga. And I got really into stretching. And at the end of it, I realized I had more of appreciation for my health than it was just my body, which actually opened me up to trying all new things. So,
I like that. I like that you diversified. So in general, when you train clients, do you have a specific approach? Like, for example, it sounds like for you really diversified: swimming and sand and hot yoga and weights and jump rope. Like, you diversified. But in general, when you train clients or when you trained Raila, did you try to stick to like a specific type of program, or just weight training, or like integrating in different things?
Well, that's a good question. When I was training Raila, I was giving her basically as much as information as I can. So when we were together, we were doing things like flipping tires. We're hitting heavy bags. We're pushing things. We're running long distances. We're doing plyo. It was everything that I could throw at her, because I'm just like, no, we're going to get this weight off, damn it. I took it personally. But, you saying that, now that I'm back fit, that actually changed how I train in general. That made me actually redefine what personal training is. So I actually now do that with all my clients. I told someone today, I was like, there's no sports specific weight loss, toning. There's no labels no more. If you want to lose weight, meet me at the football field today. Tomorrow, meet me at the pool. Wednesday, meet me at the gym. And then maybe Friday, meet me at the mountain. We just need to use the earth and everything around it as a tool, because that's honestly what I had to do. So I feel that I need to give that to my clients. So it actually made me train that way now.
So what specifically did you have Raila eat? Was she on a calorie specific
or was it
diet,
like paleo,
or was it
or like
vegetarian? Tell us exactly, like, what 5 meals a day, like, kind of break that down for us.
Well, I wasn't as hands-on with Raila as I would have normally been with other clients. One thing is I had trust in her. Us being that close, us having a weigh-in together, she honestly had the same type of pressure as me. And so I felt that was enough to really keep her in line. And she actually kept a very simple diet. I believe it wasn't any red meat. It was just chicken and fish. So, and she fell in love with salads. That was like her thing. And she was kind of like me. I mean, she found something that worked and just and didn't think twice about it. So as far as calories, I didn't make her count the calories. It was more like making sure you're fueling yourself from the right sources. You're stopping when you're content. Basically, just healthy principles to abide by. My thing was making sure she burned the right amount. So I kind of had faith that she wouldn't overeat. My pressure was making sure she got over that 3,500 calorie a day mark.
So Raila, did you feel like you had to cut anything out completely, or did you eat like a pretty well balanced and just focused on healthier foods? Like some people eat paleo and cut out all breads and dairy, or is there anything that you cut out or just focused on healthy eating?
Yeah, I cut out a lot. My whole way of eating before this whole project, it was just junk. It was like sodas, cookies, chips. I mean, it wasn't, I can go all day without eating like a meal, but I had to have my junk food. So all that had to be cut out. So that was the biggest and the hardest part for him, was cutting out the Cokes was the hardest thing. And I tried
Soda, yeah.
It made me sick. Like I can't even drink a Coke now. Like after 4 months not having one, I can't go back.
Awesome. Yeah,
That's
soda's
cool.
really hard to cut out. I remember when I did that, it was hard.
And Raila, did you struggle when you had to get back to, or when you started switching up your diet? Did you find like eating those foods was hard because your body craved those sweets before? Was it a hard transition?
It was. I was angry a lot for like no reason.
Or hangry,
Angry.
For like no reason. I didn't know what it was at first until it set in. But yeah, I was angry. I was upset. Yeah, it was hard.
Do you feel like now though, because that's such a common thing, all of my clients say the same thing. A lot of them go through withdrawals or the emotional imbalance, the headaches, the fatigue, and then they reach a point. I'm wondering if you reach this where they're like, wow, like I feel like a different person as far as like now I have more sustained energy and I feel like my moods are more imbalanced because of the foods I eat. Do you feel that way?
I did. I think it was like maybe 6-7 weeks into it. It took me a minute. 6-7 weeks into the program, once I just really gave it my all and just gave up on the old me, I started to see like the brighter picture behind it. I started to enjoy myself working out. I started to enjoy eating healthy foods.
That's so so interesting because for me, here's the thing that helped me as a trainer kind of connect with my clients a little bit better. When I ate the junk food for 6 months and then I transitioned to eating healthy again, and Cory can probably relate to this, when I got off of the soda and the processed carbs and all the sugars, the first 2 weeks were hell. Like I was angry like you, Raila. I was grumpy. I was moody. I had headaches all the time. And I was a different person. I had never experienced that before. And so before as a trainer, I used to get upset with my clients or get frustrated. I'm like, look, just stop drinking the soda. Stop eating the junk food. Why is it so hard? Just don't eat it. It's super easy. Until I experienced it, even though it was only for 6 months, I experienced what it was like to get off of those foods and how your body craves it. It's like getting off of drugs. I mean, you go through these withdrawal symptoms and it sucks really bad. And it opened up my eyes to this emotional connection to food that I had no idea existed. I just thought it was a lack of willpower.
Drew, you didn't tell us that they would linger.
I didn't tell you that. My bad.
It's a new year. Why are those voices still in my head? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
It'll always be there, Cory. My bad. It will always be there. The next time you go, you drive by a Taco Bell and you get a smell of the chalupas there. Man, it'll always be there, man. I promise you.
It's
I
crazy.
know. The cravings never go away. I mean, I hate when people are like, oh, you're a fitness person. I'm like, do you even follow me? I eat donuts like every week. I freaking can smell a donut from like a mile away. Like cravings do not go away.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
So, Cory, you mentioned that you have like a Fit to Fat to Fit program because people always ask like, I want to see what you guys did because they can't show it on the show. There's just not enough time. You mentioned that there is some kind of place where people can go to see exactly like your workouts or your meal plans.
Yeah. So what I've created, and it'll be on my website pretty soon, probably the next few days, is a Fit to Fat program that basically it gives you the rundown of the things you need to do and ways you need to live to get weight off if you're, busy but driven enough to have like 50 or 60 pounds to lose in a few months. So I realized that it took every hour of the day to lose the weight. So I realized I would have to really be honest with people and not just say, well, you need to work out every day, but no, you need to be busy all day. So I'll have like a top 10 list of things to do for the busy person that's trying to drop a lot of weight. Then I'll have workouts that you can do anywhere because we don't always have access to a gym. I know I didn't, but I could always break a sweat. So things that just do body weight, plyometric, and things like that. Then there's a meal plan that's included in that is literally, protein, carb, and nothing more. And it doesn't take time to make the meals. It doesn't really cost much money to follow the plan. And it's what worked for me. I needed short, simple, quick things I could take everywhere because I still was training other people as I was trying to lose weight. So I had to keep the fish next to me. I had to keep the protein shake next. So when I got to the end of it, I realized this is actually what worked. This is like the perfect algorithm that helped me. So let me just give that to people that have the same goals as me and not leave anything out.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll definitely link to that in the show notes here.
And what about you, Raila? Where can people find you? Can people find you if they want to ask you questions, or do you have an Instagram or Facebook or?
Yeah, I'm on both Instagram and Facebook.
What's your Instagram name?
Okay, we're teasing her because we actually know what it is. What is it?
If you want us to link to it, Raila, we can. If you don't want us to put it on the show
yeah,
notes,
we don't have to
won't.
put
It's
it in the
totally
show
up to you.
notes. It's up to you.
Yeah, that's fine. Can I change my name on there? No, you can. You can.
Yeah,
link
You
it.
can.
You
Yeah, you definitely
can.
can.
You could. You could
Yeah, you
change.
can link it in there. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put it in there.
We'll find out her new name and we'll just link it in the show notes. So instead of saying it here because she's changing the name,
Yes.
which her girlfriend, if you're
Her
a woman
girlfriend
and you
created
know
it.
how your girlfriends are, her girlfriend created it. So that's
Yes.
why we're not going to talk about it.
Okay.
And we're going to link it in the show notes so that way anybody can follow her too.
Really quick, Raila, I kind of want. Are you okay with giving people an update because it's been 4 months since the episode, since you guys finished filming? Where are you at now? And maybe talk about. Are you still working out twice a day? How are you maintaining this lifestyle? So, yeah, if you don't mind talking about that.
Sure. Maintaining the lifestyle has actually become a habit to me. I still work out. I only work out once a day, but I work out 4 times a week at Planet Fitness. I'm still eating pretty much the same way. I have my little, snacks here and there, but nowhere near like I was before. And I lost another 10 pounds. So right now I'm really trying to focus on things.
Nice.
Really trying to focus on just like sculpting my body. I want like definition. So working on weights now, which hurt. But it's fun though.
Yeah, no, that is so cool. Because here's the thing. I mean, we know a lot of people from Biggest Loser and Extreme Weight Loss. And, unfortunately, a lot of them gain the weight back. And it's sad because, it's hard when it's easy when the cameras and the fame is following you around, but once all that goes away, it's so easy to sneak back into your old ways because you have no one to be accountable to, And so that's great to see you maintain this lifestyle. What would you tell to someone that was in your position before where they loved junk food? What are the things that have helped you really embrace this lifestyle change that you could give, advice or tips to people that used to be where you were?
It's possible. That's the first tip I would give. Don't doubt yourself. Prayer is a big one. And like once you get the weight off, like I've never been this happy or comfortable with myself in ever. It's one of the major things that's keeping me from going back to my old lifestyle. I'm happy. I'm comfortable. I can go shopping and pick out pretty much anything I want and fit it. Like it's a good feeling.
Yeah,
I love
that is so cool, Raila. Thank you for being such an inspiration to so many people.
Seriously, you look
seriously.
amazing.
You do.
Amazing.
You look beautiful. Cory, what are the 2 or 3 biggest lessons you've learned from doing Fit you can take away from this experience of gaining weight on purpose?
One thing is just accepting that we are all a work in progress. Nobody knows everything and no one has done it all. And I think when you're willing to accept that, you open yourself up to just learning so many more things about you, no matter really what you do. Another thing is that it takes a bigger motive. It takes you wanting your life back when it comes to losing weight. You can't just want to look good because that'll fade. You can't just want to impress people because that'll fade. But when it's about your life, like it was for Raila, like it was for me, you'll get it done. And I think that's just a message that needs to be pushed more. If it's not about your life, it probably won't happen. Make it about your life. And I think one more thing would be just, just having the idea of like perfection, I think, stops a lot of people from reaching their goals, because you don't always have access to a trainer, but it doesn't mean you can't work out, and you don't always have 10 hours to dedicate to your goals, but it doesn't mean you can't give 30 minutes. And I had to just be so creative and find ways to lose weight, man. And I'm realizing, like, when you just allow the day to be a canvas, and however many calories you can get is what you're going to get, and the next day you're going to be ready to compete with that. If you can just let go of the idea of perfection and just go for what you want, no matter how long or how hard it takes, you're going to get there. And so it's just kind of like less thinking, more working, That's kind of what I took away from it.
Yeah, and you know what? I think you're a great example, Cory, of you're not your body. Like, your lifestyle will kind of reflect. Your body will take care of itself if you take care of you on the inside first, and you live an active lifestyle. The weight will take care of itself over time. Instead of focusing on just the scale weight, if you embrace a healthier, happier lifestyle, eventually, all the looks and the physique and stuff like that, that's just a byproduct of living a healthy lifestyle over time. That's not what brings you happiness.
Right.
There's so many people that have perfect bodies to other people that are so unhappy with themselves, and they don't like who they are, no matter how low their body fat is or how ripped they are. They're never happy. It's never good enough for them. So we need to learn to love ourselves and realize that we're not our bodies. And it starts with self-love first and foremost. And you can't hate your body enough to that's not good motivation to change your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
The hate you have for your body will never work. It's the love you have for yourself. That has to be your motivation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Are we ready for the lightning round?
Yeah,
is that all our questions?
I think we are.
Okay.
You guys, we're going to have some fun here a little bit. This is how we close out every podcast. You guys have been great. And then we'll, after this, we will have you guys tell us like where people can find you on social media.
Okay. Yeah. So we always like to end with the lightning round. So if you haven't heard our podcast, basically what that means is we're going to ask you a series of questions. They really are not important. They're just things that I like to know. That no rhyme or reason. So you basically have to answer as quickly as possible on the first thing that comes to your mind. So no filtering. All right.
We're both answer at the same time?
Well, I'm going to ask you guys probably one at a time. Okay. So, Cory, most embarrassing moment that happened during that 8-month journey, whether it was on or off camera. Doesn't matter.
Most embarrassing moment. Oh, easy. In Cyprus, training an Olympic athlete, all of her teammates are calling me chubby, wondering why her trainer's stomach is so big, why her cheeks are so full, and they can't speak English. They speak Turkish, so there's no way to explain to them anything. I just have to accept the fact that I'm the overweight guy from the States, and I just looked like I just met every stereotype of an American. It was like ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
That is so funny. They're like, that's your trainer? That's your trainer?
Right.
Really?
That's who you flew over here?
Oh man. I feel for you. Okay. What about you, Raila? Same question.
Oh gosh. There's so many to choose from. I don't know one offhand.
Cory, you got to name one for her. What was her most
Any embarrassing moment on or off camera during the 8 months?
Oh, easy. Every time Raila had to weigh in and take her shoes off, it was the most embarrassing moment of the experiment, because apparently Rayla's really, really just picky about how her feet are displayed. And so it was just, the camera couldn't be on her feet too long. We had to turn our back. So.
I have really pale feet. Like, they're really, really pale.
That was from the beginning to the end of the transformation.
Oh my gosh.
That is so funny. No one has ever said that before on the podcast.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Raila, your favorite reality TV show? Favorite TV show?
Reality TV show?
Yeah.
Tamar and Vince.
What is it?
Tamar and Vince.
I've never even heard of this.
What
is it?
We don't watch a lot of TV.
I don't even own a television. Is that bad? That's bad. But seriously, what is it?
It's a reality show. She's a singer. She's on The Real. You seen the talk show The Real before?
No, of course. I literally don't own a TV. I'm not kidding.
Tony Braxton's sister. You know who that is?
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
It's
all right.
about her and her husband.
Okay, cool. Okay, what about you, Cory?
Naked and Afraid.
Oh, yes, I've seen clips.
Funny.
See, I've seen clips
in all of its awesomeness. Clearly, that's the best show on television.
I think you secretly want to be on it, right?
I'm not gonna lie. Me and Lizanne, she talks a lot of mess. She was in the Navy. She thinks that we could go on there and she wouldn't hold me back. I feel like I would go on there and be the one to like save the day. I mean, I'm not afraid.
I think I'm going to vote for her. I think she's probably more right in that situation. Okay, Cory. The food that you missed the most from when you were gaining weight. The food you missed the most.
Lemon pepper wings. Easy.
I was
eating about 70 a day.
Whoa.
Yeah, I had a very close relationship with the guy at the Chinese food restaurant. He knows my mom's name. He still texts me, checks if I'm okay.
He's like, are you all right? Do you need some lemon pepper wings?
He's like, my number one customer. He's spending so much money. He's gone now.
Dang it. All right, Raila, what's your favorite dessert?
Anything chocolate.
Anything chocolate. No specific? Like chocolate cheesecake, chocolate cake, chocolate cupcakes?
As long as it's chocolate, I like it. Anything chocolate.
It's because you're a woman. I hear you.
Exactly. Yeah.
I hear you. Okay. Secret crush. Either one of you can answer first. Celebrity or otherwise, secret crush.
Who do I
Can't believe you guys don't have like a hot secret crush like right off the top of your head. Like normally women like just yell, one of the major celebrities out, like Brad Pitt or
I can't say lemon pepper wings, right?
No, you can. If your secret crush is lemon pepper wings,
you can marry lemon pepper wings.
Yeah, it could be. That could be your secret crush.
Raila says she doesn't have a crush.
What?
Wow.
I don't. Sorry.
Wow. All right. Well, you guys answered honestly, so I'm gonna let it slide. I'm just
okay. So I'm gonna jump in here. I'm stealing a question from Sean T. So we were just on Sean T's podcast today, and
yeah,
he does
a lightning round too, which is funny.
So funny. Okay, so you two.
You said he doesn't what?
He does a lightning round at the end too. We had him on our podcast.
Yeah, he does the
before.
same kind of thing at the end of his podcast. So it's funny.
It is funny.
So he asked us, okay, so here's the question for you guys. You two are on a deserted island, and you had to pick between one of two people to live with you, Justin Bieber or Kanye West. Who would you pick?
We had to answer this question today.
Kanye.
I'll kill Kanye. Justin.
Wait, who said?
I would choose Kanye.
That is funny. Lynn at first said Justin Bieber, but then she was like, let me think about this.
And then I had to think about it because I was like, Justin Bieber seems like such... I almost said a word we probably shouldn't say on the podcast. That I'm like, he won't do anything. And I'm like, I think Kanye would maybe pull weight.
You got to think about it. But
I think like you could use that for your advantage. Like Kanye, I bet you can't even do this. And then he'd probably try to do it. But Justin Bieber would be like worse than like a 12-year-old girl. He would just sit on the sand crying.
With passion. Like he's gonna passionately make the fire. He's gonna passionately like hunt fish.
I mean, I'd probably kill them both, but that was a really tough question. We told Sean, we're like, that's a good one. So we did steal that from Sean T. All right, you guys did awesome. So I know that we talked a little bit about your website, Cory, but did you guys both say your social media handles where people can find you?
Yeah, Cory, where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram. It's at I am Cory Taylor, IAMCOREYTAYLOR. I'm also have a website. It's called fitnessasalifestyle.com. And between those two, they can pretty much find anything else. I'm on Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, and whatnot. And yeah, I'm 24/7. So always giving out good information there.
Awesome.
Yep. And you have a brick and mortar, boot camp gym, Fitness as a Lifestyle in Atlanta, right?
Yes, Fitness as Lifestyle Studios. So it's going to be, if you want to find if you want to come to any of my classes or get a hold of any of my one-on-one sessions, you can find me at The Cage Atlanta. It's literally called The Cage Atlanta because that's what it is. We're animals in there and we work out. So come see me.
Awesome. Awesome. And we're going to put Rayla's information in the show notes because she's going to send us that information shortly.
Yeah, Raila, did you change your Instagram name yet during this podcast? Or no?
I doubt it.
I have not, no.
Of course not. No, we'll wait to get that information and we'll put it in the show notes. You guys were so awesome. Your episode was so inspiring. I know that you're probably going to hear from so many people asking you questions. We definitely appreciate you guys opening up and giving us more details on the journey and about where you're at now. And yeah, you guys are
just remember
awesome.
People always look to you guys as an inspiration to them because you've accomplished so much, man. So keep living the lifestyle, you guys. You guys are an inspiration to us. We appreciate you coming on the podcast and letting people get to know you on a more personal level.
Thank you for having us, you guys. It was fun.
Okay, we had a blast, you guys. Have a good night.
See you guys.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today to the Fit to Fat to Fit Experience podcast. We really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, you guys, please share it. Go on iTunes, give us a 5-star review, and please, or a 5-star rating, and leave us a review if you guys don't mind, to help support the podcast. We definitely want to keep this going and make it available to you guys every single week. We appreciate all the love and support you guys have shown us throughout the first 26 episodes now, 27, I believe. But thank you guys so much once again. If you want to stay in the know about future casting for the show, I know a lot of you have reached out to me about that and want to stay in the know about my events, my traveling coming up, events that I'll be at. Please follow me on social media at Fit to Fat to Fit, or on my website, fit2fattofit.com. I have a newsletter on there if you want to stay in the know.
Absolutely. And if you want to follow me, you can find me on my website, which is the number 2fitathome.com. And you can sign up for my newsletter there. I have a blog on there with a lot of great content. Also, if you want to find me on social media, on Instagram or Facebook, it's the number 2fitathome.
Thank you guys once again for tuning in. We'll see you back here next week for another great episode on the Fit to Fat to Fit Experience podcast.
See you guys.